Welcome to ISE 2023 in lovely Barcelona. This is Rich Fregosa, Uncle Richie for AVNation.tv. I'm here in the Shure booth with Chris Merrick, who is the head of marketing for Shure. Chris, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, great to meet you too, Richie. Welcome.
Well, thank you. This booth is massive. There is a lot going on here. I had the fortune of being here over the summer when the show opened, and one of the things that we worried about was how was the show going to be? When we're going to get people back, were we going to be able to return to that same experience? Fast forward 8 months, it's a little chillier at this point, but the show's open. We're actually recording on the second day of the show. Tell me your experience of the show so far.
Well, I guess I was a little bit worried, as always. How big is the live event going to be? Are people going to invest the time, the effort to travel, particularly post-pandemic? Everyone's very, very conscious of, traveling with intent for serious reasons or not. And I've just been super impressed actually by the scale of the audience and also the quality of the people coming here. You've got the very best professionals, people who really know their technology, they really know their market. And it's wonderful to see them all come out in such large numbers. We haven't seen the total count yet, but if it's not significantly up on last year, I would be very, very surprised. So
I would too. There was huge lines just to get in at this point.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
This is a technology show. It's what we all focus on. We're here to take a look at advances in all of it, but at the same time, one of the things that always interests me is that companies are still built up with people, and people are passionate about what they do in technology. And so the question that I've been asking that's been great to ask now that we're all getting back together, because we're not on a Zoom screen anymore, and so we get a chance to get to know one another personally again. My first question to you is, how did you wind up at Shure?
Well, I've been in marketing, various technologies, education technology, telecoms for many years. And live events has always been a very significant part of actually how we reach out and engage with our customers, engage with our markets, and actually even with our own associates. And I've always been very particular about the quality of events and how live events are delivered, making sure that the CEO on the stage sounds fantastic, but when the head of sales is giving a keynote or when giving product demonstrations. And so I've always been the person to go back and talk to the AV techs at the booth and make sure everything's working particularly well. And that's how I first became acquainted with the Shure brand as a user of it.
Really?
So when the opportunity came up and they said, "Oh, we want to roll out B2B marketing for Shure at a bigger scale," and the opportunity presented itself, I said, I know someone who's really into high quality audio who also knows about the end customer market. So that's kind of my journey to Shure. A lot of people come from a music background. I actually came in from the AV conferencing and corporate events side of things.
Well, that's the fantastic part. Sometimes it's like, I love the product so much, I had to make my way here.
Yeah.
So that's great news. Well, this is a tech show, and so you have a incredibly large booth filled with lots of technology. Let's talk about technology STEM.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Shure has a massive and extensive range of AV products of every category. If you come to some parts of the Shure booth, you're going to see all of the Axient Digital, all the mics used for live events. Also, we have our Microflex solutions, which are for the very highly configurable for the most challenging corporate environments. We acquired STEM about 2.5 years ago now. Very excited by their technology. They were an early stage company out in California, doing some great things, a great concept. And by bringing the two brands together, we thought there was a great opportunity for us to actually take the STEM proposition and take it globally. And it's really targeted at IT teams who wanted to set up quickly, easily, cost-effectively deploy solutions, whether in a large company or even in a small business that may just have 1 or 2 training rooms. STEM's pretty ideal. You don't need to have a high level of AV smarts. You've got a set number of products. You have the STEM ceiling, the STEM table, a control panel, a hub which knits it all together, speaker, and a wall speaker mic as well. And you can mix and match those to actually suit any type of room that you want to have. And you can actually define and design the whole thing in our software interface on the web, in the control panel, on a tablet, whatever suits you. You can save your design. You can copy and paste, use it again and again, or do something discrete for each room. And actually, you can on the website you can actually save and work out what coverage do I need, what devices do I need, save those, that becomes your bill of materials, and you can place the order. The stuff's shipped, you get it a few days later, and then you just need very basic IT networking skills to set it up, deploy in the room, and you're gonna have something which sounds absolutely great. way above what you would get with a very simple all-in-one device just placed at the front of the room. So we think STEM fills a really exciting place in the market. It's a great opportunity for people to get the quality of Shure audio into more and more spaces. And we've been using Shure's 90 plus years, getting on for 100 years of audio experience, also to invest a lot of effort into the software of the STEM ecosystem. So we've rolled out in the course of the last year new firmware versions to just take that audio, take its configurability, take its networking ability, and just keep ratcheting up and ratcheting up. And so people who are not familiar with the STEM ecosystem, not had a chance to hear it, not had a chance to experience the magic dust that Shure has sprinkled on it. It's a transformative experience.
Well, and you bring up a good point, because there is so much that it's capable of, and if they're not familiar with how STEM came to be and part of Shure, let's talk about just that basic use case. With that, when you're talking with your partners and you went, here's the application where we've done it before, that this is you can expect to do with it. What would be an example of that?
Well, very typically, I think a lot of smaller companies who aren't necessarily completely au fait with all the complexities of AV. It's very scary. You come and talk to an AV company, and there's all of these racks and blinking lights and lots of very technical language. So that can be quite off-putting to people. And I think probably Shure's been guilty of that in the past as well. We're passionate about our technology. So what we're trying to do really with STEM is actually democratize high-quality audio. Going out to we're going out to those end users. We've actually just launched a new advertising campaign, which is just, for those types of, you're the only IT person in the small company. You're not au fait with, you're struggling to deal with broken photocopiers. You're dealing with making sure the CEO's laptop's working, etc. You've got a million and one things on your plate. And what we're trying to do is you can actually improve the audio experience, the collaboration, particularly in this hybrid world, which everyone's going through, small businesses as well as large businesses. With STEM ecosystem, you can just do it very easily, give everyone a much more delightful experience, improve the professional operation of your company, make the CEO look great, make your associates very happy to be working with you. There's lots of benefits, and we're trying to take that message and get it into as many places as possible. STEM is ideal for that.
Well, that's fantastic. Obviously, if people want to find out more about the STEM ecosystem with Shure, but also just as important, the entire range of products that Shure offers, how can people find out more about Shure?
Very simply, Shure.com, and you will see our full range of consumer, professional audio, and conferencing systems, wired, wireless. There's an immense choice. So it's broken down, go into the Shure conferencing part of the website, and then you'll very quickly and easily see STEM, Microflex, and you can then dive in and find out exactly what you want to do. And in STEM, you can design it, set it up, order it, be shipped, you'll love it.
I'm here with Jack Drury, who is part of market development for Shure, although the better nickname I've been told is the guru of technology here at Shure.
Doesn't fit on one business card, that's the only problem.
Jack, it's nice to meet you, and welcome to the show.
Nice to meet you too, thank you for coming to our booth.
Thanks. So we are in winter. I was fortunate enough to be here during the summer, and one of the concerns that we had initially during the summer show was like, what was it going to feel like when the show opened up? It was like, is this show going to happen? Are we ever going to return to normal? Fast forward to 2023, the show is back on track. You've been to ISEs before.
Yep.
How does it feel being back? Really back?
It's incredible to be back. It's really good to be back. And having to do everything online, like we did so much online training and it was really good, but you don't get the kind of interaction. And just some of the problems that you solve, some of the troubleshooting that you do really quickly when you're with everybody, it's just so worth it to be here. Like brilliant conversations, really nice to catch up with people that you haven't seen for years. Yeah, excellent. Really nice to be back.
Well, this is a technology show.
Yes.
But one of the things that we talked about is like, we got kind of tired of being on Zoom screens and kind of the dry presentations of one another. And being back at the show, one of the things that's really struck me is that although we're in tech, we're all passionate about what we do. And we all find different paths to these jobs. So one of the questions that I've been posing to everybody, how did you wind up at Shure? How did you wind up doing this?
Right, okay, well, wanted to be a musician first, and I still try and dabble, but haven't been signed yet, so if anybody wants to put me on the radio, I can do that. So that didn't work, and then I thought I'd be a sound engineer, and I wanted to mix shows, and I was really, really bad at mixing. That wasn't my thing at all, but I got very good at, here are your inputs, here are your outputs, here's all the stuff that you need in the middle to make that work. So systems design, PA, speakers, and then wireless was part of that as well. And this just spoke to me. I kind of put all my brain points in the wireless stuff, and then started, a bit of touring, worked with some bands, and then was fortunate enough to be offered to come to Shure. And now this is basically all that I do. Shure is a huge company with lots of products, but if it's anything to do with wireless, I will be the person to assist. We do a lot of support for bands on the road. We do a lot of support for engineers, make sure the coordination's good, make sure they're happy, they're getting the best out of the equipment. And yeah, that's how I ended up exactly here today speaking to you.
So some of the best seats in the house, basically. Like, so from the 1s and 2s to the check 1-2s?
Absolutely, yes. I'm going to steal that. Actually. That's good.
I like that one, right? Well, great. This is a tech show.
Yes.
It's amazing, like I said, hearing that, that your passion wound up becoming your profession. Let's talk about the product itself. Let's talk about what's behind us.
Okay.
What are we seeing here?
So the biggest thing for us today is this unit here. This is the AD600. So it is a spectrum manager. This gets a little bit boring, a little bit technical, but come on a very short journey with me. If you are on a show, such as ISE, for example, or if you're doing a big tour, you've got a lot of wireless stuff that you're trying to take care of, you want to see what the spectrum's doing, and you want to see what it's doing in real time. So if something pops up that you weren't expecting, you need to deal with that quickly. To solve that problem previously in real time would have taken a very expensive piece of equipment, 20, 30,000 pounds. You don't want to go there. We now have this device, which is much more affordable. It sits in the rack, and we have the real-time analysis on the show. As you can see, ISE is very busy.
Right.
Lots of wireless manufacturers here, but by having this and being able to see the spectrum, we can work with wireless workbench, integrate that in, keep backup frequencies, keep stuff swapping out, and it makes our life easier just to keep things going. So if you're doing a big tour, it's an essential piece of equipment to have. It replaces an older analog piece of equipment, and we're very, very lucky to have it as part of the Axient digital ecosystem, which does bring me to Axient. We're always very keen to talk about Axient if we can. This is our top tier wireless system, the only system in the market that allows you to remote control your transmitters.
Okay.
So if you do have a problem, like I'm wearing a wireless pack at the moment, which is being very well handled, if there was interference on this and it was an Axient digital system, we'd be able to deliver a new frequency to this pack automatically. So the whole ecosystem works together with Workbench, the Spectrum Manager, our receivers and our transmitters have been designed to have a good, a very complex relationship that keeps things going, keeps the tech's kind of life easy, and just does a lot of stuff in the background so that you don't need to worry about it.
So you're taking some incredibly complicated stuff, making it elegantly simple along the way in terms of tour, the overview of the technology. But let's talk about, somebody walks in the first time, where's that use case? What kind of use case do you find that if you're going to explain it to you, somebody's like, here's what you're going to run into, and this is exactly what you can do with the product. What would be an example of that?
It's such an interesting question. I mean, look, when I do training, I ask what wireless applications can you think of? And there are tons,
Right.
Conferencing, live, house of worship, exactly what we're doing now, broadcast, theater. It's tons. And any of these applications, from if you're 2 channels in a church to 200 channels on a stadium, the same challenges exist. We have a small amount of spectrum. We want stuff to work reliably with no interference, with no source of failure. And that inevitably brings you to brands like Shure, who have built tools. It's all about having the tools to do the job. You can't not have the knowledge. You have to understand how the kit works. But if you come to a brand that gives you the tools, you're going to have a super reliable performance, and you're going to be able to make the show sound good, which is what everyone wants to do.
And the 1s and 2s that check 1-2s, right? Well, that's
Brilliant.
fantastic. Well, if people don't have the luxury of making it to the show, but they do want to find out more about Axient, and actually Shure's incredible product line. I mean, the booth is amazing. How can people find out more about Shure?
You go to shure.com, but you can also get in contact with any of our offices. So we have representatives all over the world. Shure employs nice people that are very approachable. We like people to come to us with questions, so feel free to get in touch on the website or through your DC or your dealer, and we'll be happy to help you find whatever you need.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for the time, Jack. If you want to find out more about Axient and Shure, you can find it on their website. If you want to find out more about our coverage here at ISE 2023 in Barcelona, you can find it on our website at avnation.tv. This is Rich Fregosa, Uncle Richie, for avnation.tv.